Kevin?
We'll keep an eye on that.
Okay.
Facilities, big, long update.
Hey,
At
somebody
nine-
said 1 o'clock in the morning.
At
I got a weird feeling
9:45.
We're gonna hit it.
We have to break in a new board member for athletic.
Right.
Is this hazing?
Well, we gotta remember, we didn't really have a meeting
Laura's
in
not
May,
here.
so.
Okay.
All right, maintenance grant, you're gonna see something later in the agenda that I'm asking for the board to support. We are only in the draft stages of the life safety report. However, the state just released at the beginning of the May or end of April that they are doing maintenance grants again this year, which is that $50,000 reimbursement, which we got last year to help us pay for the sign and our lighting projects to update lighting. However, they did say that there is a limited amount of grants that will be honored and priority will be given to life safety issues. So one of the things that we did when we met with DLA and myself and the advisory council I asked to participate was Mr. Walsh and Dr. Keene, with Tim and the new architect and Joel and I, was to look at the life safety first draft and just pick something that was going to be on all the drafts going forward and see if we can submit it now and try to get a $50,000 maintenance grant. So what you'll see later in the agenda is that we did do that. We identified 2 sections of roofing that will need to be replaced within the next 2 years. And what we're asking is that the board approve the amendment so that we can submit the grant tomorrow for the $50,000 maintenance grant and see if we can get some money back to help us with that project.
I think it's important, you want to make 2 points that you or Tim made. One is you're giving priority to the people who didn't get a grant last year, so we are a little bit disadvantaged possibly. Although, Tim, I think you said they didn't even give out the money last year, right?
No, but not every district in the state applied for it
Yeah.
last year.
And
So
the,
those will be the districts that will get.
The second thing is the 50,000 we have to fund, we have 2 years to do it.
Correct.
So we can put in for the grant now.
It's
Get
a
the
repair
grant,
we know
have
that's going to be
and
there.
it needs to be done anyway.
Right. The life safety in the facility plan, we are in the first draft phase. Right now, we have an Excel spreadsheet with over 800 items on it, and we're working with the architects and Joel, identifying items that need to be moved back to life safety report and those that are long-term planning, capital plans that need to be put in a facility plan. We're hoping to have another draft done here in June and hopefully have something to the board to begin considering in July or August. Summer projects will be mostly custodial and general repairs this summer. There's no major summer projects for Aramark to complete. The roof and ceiling section out here, we did identify with the general contractor, the roofer, and the mason that no weeps were put in the brick. So McHugh was working with the roofer and the mason to get that repaired, and also internally and externally. The stadium pole, we did have 1 light pole out that was fixed, but that is going to be covered in our claim from the flood and the severe storm. That's what shorted it out. Flood insurance, we've already submitted some claims. Tim is still working on that. We're waiting to hear back from Field Turf. They had 1 inspector come out and look at the turf. We're asking a couple other questions based off of the pictures we have before and after they sent out the inspector and before it was groomed. In regards to the pool, we are setting up a meeting for this Thursday where we have different parties from White 2010, all the people that were involved in the construction and pool design process, as well as our facilities manager and Environ who did the third-party report, and possibly our new architect, is beginning to get together and discuss the issues we're having with the pool and see if we could rectify that situation, and our legal counsel is helping us facilitate the various communications that are going back and forth to all those parties.
Did you say the architects met with them, or
This week.
this week?
This week.
Is that all?
I think that's everything.
Are you asking
Questions?
for any assistance, Kevin?
Not at this time. Soon we will.
Okay.
On the,
Tim,
With
Tim
regards
and I
to the
are quite
roof,
interested.
Yeah.
with regards to the roof repair, are you asking to approve the full 100,000?
No,
So 50, so they can be partitioned off, even though that you're estimating total cost of roof repair. This particular section's 100,000. You're gonna be able to partition off 50,000 of it only?
He's asking to
We're-
approve.
to
but you're
approve
gonna
the
get a grant
amendment so
for
that we
50.
can submit the grant, see if we get it. Then if we get it, we have time to budget that 100,000 over the next 2 years to fix both sections of the roof and help get the 50 back.
And that still can be inside the life safety?
Yes.
They're
So
pretty
the other
confident.
50?
Well, that's what this is approving, that it's gonna be an amendment
So the
to
other
life
50
safety.
can fall under the life savings?
Life safety.
Life
Yeah.
safety,
Yeah.
excuse me, life safety
Correct.
Yeah.
funding, wherever we get that from?
And
Correct.
they estimated there's several sections of roof that really need to be repaired, but I think we chose two that they estimated would be around little over $100,000 to repair.
On the weeping, we checking everywhere?
Joel did,
Okay, that was the only area that had a problem?
that he could identify right now.
All right,
Great question, Matt. I asked it.
any other questions? I got it, I swear to God, I feel like I'm answering. All right, so any other questions on facility?
I'd just like to compliment the whole crew of them. I mean, Tim and Kevin, you know, there's been a lot of effort and they're staying on top of it. And I will say that, you know, the architect, Carrie, they're doing just a good job starting to put the stuff together. So, you know, and I should never skip Joel too, because he's put a lot of effort into it. So,
Gotcha.
you know, got a lot of confidence. They're looking at it pretty holistically and we're heading in the right direction.
Yeah, I'd just like to emphasize, and I did at the meeting, that I guess the rep from Field Turf came out and said, well, yeah, everything's fine. But I mean, if you look at the video where the thing's basically separated, I definitely want, a more solid senior opinion on that before, we sign off on that and not somehow claim flood damage or whatever we need to do. Because, this is the third flood, and I know the field only has a 7 to 10 year life, but,
Okay,
it's a flood.
right.
All right, anything else?
The roof, are we repairing roofs or replacing this roof repair?
This roof repair is something different. Which roof are you talking about? The one that's leaking or the one that's the
The
100?
100,000,
That's the replace.
that's a roof replacement.
Yes,
That's over the kitchen, correct? It's over
right.
this whole-
Library and a kitchen.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to finance.
Meeting this Thursday.
Okay. Personnel?
Personnel, no update at this time. Right now, I've asked for Mr. Cindy and Mr. Gritchen to help me on my advisory council. I've been trying to keep them in the loop. Also, they're working and as the board's negotiations committee, so that will help with contract implementation and collective bargaining, so it kind of coincides. But nothing to report at this time.
Policy?
Policy, we have press policy update 81, that's coming up in old business, I can touch on that. Then, we did meet, that is going to be a new advisory council going forward with Mr. Jepson and Mr. Welch. Mr. Walsh and Mr. Cindy are helping me with this one, and I think we have some recommendations tonight so that we can get that approved, and the next packet that comes in, I could work with the new advisory council.
Okay, any other questions on this?